He uri au no tū wharetoa ngai te rangi ngā tika hungunu me kainui hoki. Ko Maia, Svadlenak-Gardiner ahau. I just listed my iwi affiliations, which are, how do I explain it in English? I guess my tribal, my native connections and lands that I whakapapa to, that I am where I'm from. Favorite thing about myself is my kindness, my positivity, and I'm very, very caring. So yeah, all of those. I'll just go with last year. 2023 was a really difficult time for me in terms of quite like some personal things that were going on, and then also dealing with a lot of external expectations. I mean, I did purposely load up my plate on a whole different load of things. I was working full-time, studying full-time, working part-time, planning my wedding, and then some personal things came up as well. And that time was really difficult for a lot of reasons, but what I gained from it was I've always kind of known my strength. Through difficult times, my strength and my resilience has shined. And so it got really quite difficult mentally as well. And so I've been through probably last year, and in my early 20s, I'm 28 now. I've been through two kind of depressive states before where my mental health has suffered. And through going through those experiences, I know that I have the strength and resilience to come out of them. And so even though they were terrible, I do not want to be back there. I know through going through them that I can kind of do anything, really. And so that knowing my strength and my resilience has always been kind of like a superpower to me, is because I know through that I can kind of go through anything and will be able to protect myself and get through it, because, you know, I had this mantra of this too shall pass when I'm dealing with difficult things. So I was fortunately raised through a lot of holistic health methods. My mum's a little hippy dippy, and we were raised on like homeopathy, really alternative to our Māori perspectives of Saurongoa Māori, which is traditional Māori medicine practices. And so growing up, all I've known is a holistic perspective on health, hauora, and well-being. And so that's always been in my kind of in my realm. And I think as I grew older, that's just kind of all I've known, and what I've reflected on when looking to heal myself and to take on things like that. And so as I grew older, I just found myself more interested and more passionate about health, about hauora, well-being. And here in Aotearoa, unfortunately, Māori are very vulnerable in the health system that we currently are in. It is not set up for our people to survive, to thrive. We are overrepresented in most of the negative health statistics. And so through my passion of my personal interest of health and well-being, and then through this drive to really help to work towards building equity for Māori within our health system. So those two kind of passions and drives for me is what kind of solidified me to study. So I'm studying population health, and go through that route. And I'm also an all or nothing kind of person. So I need to be deeply passionate about anything, like, you know, passionate and interested about the things that I do. And hauora is just a reoccurring theme throughout my my life. And so I was like, okay, cool, that's what I love, that's what I'm passionate about. And I realized that I didn't, well, not didn't, but I realized that the knowledge that I knew surrounding holistic health, te ao Māori perspectives on health wasn't really common. It was common within kind of a few of my circles and my whānau, my family, but not in the wider kind of sphere. And things that I thought were kind of like quite common knowledge, not a lot of people did know. And so that propelled me to create Wellbeing with Maia, and to build a platform that is surrounded on holistic perspectives on health, with a focus of Māori traditional Indigenous perspectives as well. I'm hoping to empower wahine women specifically, because my mission is to empower wahine to lead healthier lives, to take control of their health, well, more so their well-being, their hauora, because well-being kind of encapsulates a lot of other aspects of your health that's just outside of nutrition and exercising, which is kind of the common denominator. And fortunately, mental health is becoming a big topic as well. Through that, and wanting to share that message with people, and I just find that wahine women, we are so nurturing and so caring, and are the first to offer support and to help people, but the last to help ourselves. And so I've seen that with my mum, with myself, with my loved ones, and it's really common in te ao Māori and the Māori world as well. Is like mothers are very nurturing. We are the kind of like the foundation, the pillar of whānau, of family, and we are strong for everyone else, and typically last to look after ourselves. And so as a wahine Māori, as an Indigenous woman, I want to encourage women to support themselves first. You know, that analogy of putting on your own life jacket first, filling, you know, you can't fill from an empty cup, and just really nurturing and empowering women to not think that it's selfish, or to, you know, put themselves on their priority list as well, because that is something that is so needed within our society and within my own community as well. I see well-being as a simple Māori health model, is te whare tapawhā, which is it represents the four corners of a wharenui, which is a traditional meeting house, Māori meeting house, and each corner, each wall represents one pillar of your health. And so that's whānau, family social, hinengaro mental, tinana physical, and wairua spiritual. And so a simple way of viewing well-being, hauora, is through that kind of lens, and seeing that I'm addressing each of those pillar, to ensure that I have a balanced, well-rounded care for my well-being. And so just kind of ensuring that I am looking after my hinengaro, my mental health, as well as my physical, with moving my body and filling my body with good kai, with good food and sustenance, as well as nurturing my spiritual well-being and whānau, family, social connections as well. And so I do take that approach with my hauora. And my favorite rituals, daily rituals at the moment, is gratitude. And so I habit stack gratitude every time I go into my car, and this is typically for mahi, for work. is when I drive to and from Mahi from work, I say what I'm grateful for. And so I do that typically twice a day. It just really helps me to be present in the moment and to focus on all of the little things that can be often forgot about. And that also helps to boost my wairua, my spiritual and my mental health as well. And my second thing is grounding. I try to do that every morning. It's been raining quite a bit in Aotearoa, so I haven't been able to do that as much as I'd like to. And so just planting my feet on the ground, on the earth, to be present and to fill me up with that kind of good energy and vibration from the earth. As Māori, we are very, I think it's quite common with a lot of Indigenous communities as well. We are really connected to the lands, to the whenua. And so having that kind of sustenance from Papatuanuku, we call Mother Earth Papatuanuku, and so having that fuel me as well. And also being in the sun, that's good. Getting the natural light for your circadian rhythm as well. And I also have some like smoothies and supplements that I take I try to remember every morning to take as well. And with moving my body is just moving my body in a way that is enjoyable for me. So I went through the whole trying to force myself to go to a crazy intense gym class or do these obscure things that you see online as, you know, guaranteed to work and all of that kind of stuff. I've kind of stopped punishing myself with movement, which I feel like quite often a lot of us do, or, you know, have done in our life. So just finding movement that I enjoy, which is being outside, going for a hikoi, going for a walk, or doing some Pilates. A saying and another mantra, I love mantras and affirmations, that is very useful for me, is you can't hate yourself into a version that you love. And so if you focus on that and focus on the things that you enjoy, that you enjoy, that are fulfilling for you, that make you feel good within your body. And so if you take it from a nutritional perspective, some people might immediately think like, oh, well, I hate meal prepping and I hate, you know, eating veggies or things like that. But if you actually reflect within how your body is reacting to eating, like not very nutritious food and things like that in that aspect, and if you're always tired and lethargic, then if you're actually being honest and reflecting on yourself, you're not enjoying that. And so it's like, if you kind of, with hauora and well-being, I think first to be patient with yourself. It's not an overnight thing. It is a continuous journey. So being patient and understanding that you can't hate yourself into a version that you love. And so framing around a healthier choices, healthier lifestyle habits and routines that you actually enjoy, that are fulfilling for you, that are nurturing for you in different aspects of your life, that will create a more sustainable way of creating a healthier habits, healthier lifestyle, because you can do a 6, 8, 12 week intense challenge, which are very popular in Aotearoa for the past few years. Those are good starters, boosters, but I think a lot of people put too much expectation on those, and in reality you can't always meal prep, you can't always be doing all of those high intensity things, and therefore you fall off the bandwagon, and then you're just kind of going through the cycle of doing challenges, falling off, and just kind of having that imbalance. And so it's focusing on more sustainable habits and routines, and just being patient and kind with yourself. I think it's that you can't hate yourself into a version that you love. I think it's really is, in my experience and seeing a lot of my Black people that I love as well, especially being when you're in your teens, and I can only imagine how much more saturated this is with social media as well, is that you can't criticize yourself into a version that you love. Like, you know, picking yourself apart or the things that you do isn't going to build you into the person that you want to be. It's not going to build confidence. It's not going to build self-love. It's not going to build the love and respect that you want to have within yourself and your body. And so just understanding that, I think, would go a long way for a lot of young wahine. I know that would have definitely helped me as well, and just kind of seeing societal beauty standards, and that I'm not the typical beauty standards when I was growing up. And I can only imagine how much more difficult it would be for younger women now, where you have access to everything at any time, and just having those thoughts of comparison and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so stop comparing yourself to people, and yeah, just treat yourself with kindness and love. I love being a part of Girls That Invest. I love podcasting. Surprise, surprise, I'm sure you can tell. I love to chit chat. Honestly, I'm not going to say an underwhelming story, but Sim and I are friends. So we used to, I'm not sure how long you've been listening to the podcast, but we used to work together like 2019. Yeah, so like 5 years ago, when she was an optometrist. And so we met each other through mahi, through work, and then we've been friends ever since. And she approached me at the end of 2022 and was like, hey, I have this idea. I want to expand on the podcast. I think we have really good banter. And I think you'd be a really good fit for the podcast and for what I wanted, what she'd like to do to develop Girls That Startup. I started first at Girls That Startup, and now I'm also on the Tuesday episodes as well. And yeah, I'll try anything, like almost anything. And so I was like, yeah, of course, like you're my friend. We have really good like banter and chemistry, and I just would love to try something new. And so it was purely out of and I also used to pester some about like, can you teach me how to use social media and how to like build an online community and things like that. She's like, okay, here's the opportunity, so we're just going to record it though. And so I was like, yeah, that's fine. So I think it's I am just up for kind of an adventure and a challenge, really. And I thought it was fun. Like I love Girls That Invest and the kaupapa, the work that that Girls That Invest does and empowers women. And that is something that is so close to my heart and what I want to do and help to do as well. And so it was really kind of a no-brainer. And being able to, I'm not sure about you, but I wasn't, not out of lack of knowledge from my mum. I was brought up by a single mum of 4, and financial literacy, it wasn't taught in schools. It wasn't really taught to us growing up. It wasn't really taught to us growing up, aside from you know, just kind of save your money and be responsible in that kind of sense. And so now having the platform that Girls That Invest is empowering women, is providing free accessible resources to so many people who didn't have it, like myself, and just having that conversation just in general, talking about money, and then further talking about creating a business and knowing that yeah, I think the word is just empowering women, and to be able to take care of their money, to invest, which is something that used to be really daunting, and a lot of jargon thrown at you. So yeah, it was just a fun little passion project at first, and yeah, I love it. Well, it's a fun passion project now still. What being a woman means to me, I am reflecting on being Māori, and so in Te Ao Māori, in the Māori world, wahine are very strong, are very staunch, are the caretakers, the nurturers. Like, we bring life into this world. There are so many aspects in my culture where, so an example is, so on the marae, which on the marae, before there's a pōhiri process, which is protocols, something that you need to do before entering onto a marae that you've never been to, and that's just, a cultural protocol. And there's this exchange between, so there's the Opeta group who is coming onto the marae, and then there are Hokainga people who are from the marae, who are essentially, it's to welcome you on. And the karanga, which is, it's the beginning of the pōhiri process. And so that is the call from the people of the marae to the guests, to the manuhiri, to welcome them onto the marae. And the karanga process, it always is a woman, and that karanga, so it's a call, traditionally through, we view it as being the portal between the spiritual and the physical world. And so, because I'm not going to get into the whole pōhiri process and all of that kind of stuff, the depths of it really, but we are the portal to the physical and the human realm, and that aspect of welcoming someone onto your own land, your whenua, is that we have like the power to do that. And so there is so much strength in knowing that you have that connection. And that's the same with being hapu, like having being pregnant and carrying a baby. There are tikanga, there are protocols when you're hapu as well, when you're pregnant, that you can and can't do, because you are that extension between the physical and the spiritual world again. And so it's just kind of knowing these things within my culture, and knowing really how much strength and power and mana that we have as wahine, that we have as women, is really empowering. Knowing, I guess for me, culturally, the significance that wahine, that women play within my culture and have throughout our history, really kind of empowers me, and reflecting on the ability to be able to create children, to bring in our worldview, Māori worldview, is that, yeah, we are that spiritual portal, and just knowing that innate strength and ability is just very empowering for me, even though it is hard to be a woman in our current society, with discrimination and all of that kind of stuff, and people speaking about what we can do with our body and our rights and all of those kinds of things. I find that it's empowering, and it's a superpower to be a woman as well, because we have so many wonderful qualities, and bring that that beautiful kind of feminine energy and balance into the world, and that nurturing aspect. In Te Ao Māori, like Papatuanuku, Mother Earth, our land, she's a female, and a lot of beautiful atua, so gods, goddesses, is very empowering. So I guess to say being a woman is empowering.